flag salute. I'd like to call the meeting to order. If Commissioner Cunningham will lead us in the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody to the March 24th meeting of the Clovis, City of Clovis Planning Commission. Members of the public are encouraged to participate in the meetings by accessing the website on the city website, or the webcast on the city website, providing written comment at the same site, participate by phone, or coming to the Planning Commission meeting in person. Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Antuna is absent. Commissioner Bedstead?
Here.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Here.
Commissioner Hatcher?
Here.
Chair Hinkle?
Here. Approval of the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Commissioner Bedstead for approval of the January 27th, 2022 meeting minutes, seconded by Commissioner Cunningham. Commissioner Bedstead?
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher?
Yes.
Chair Hinkle?
Yes.
Commissioner Antuna absent.
Okay. Commission Secretary, any comments?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At the last meeting of the City Council, we presented an update, the annual review and update to the city's regional housing needs overlay zone. At that meeting, Commissioner Cunningham asked if I could pass along just a quick update to the Commission on the regional housing needs overlay zone. So in brief, as you may recall, the overlay zone was established by the city back in 2018 as a tool to help the city meet its regional housing needs allocation requirements. At that time, we set up a number, I think it was 32 initial sites. That number went up and then down a little bit over the last couple of years. This year's annual review and update indicates that one of the existing sites that has been on the map for really since the beginning, since 2018, should be removed because that site is being developed as a single-family subdivision. That leaves the city with 29 sites in the overlay. Again, what it means to be in the overlay is that multifamily housing is allowed as a permitted use. We've had a couple of those sites. One site is under construction. We've had a couple of other sites where there's been a lot of interest. One pending site that we've done some preliminary approvals on. So if there's any questions that I can answer for you on the regional housing needs overlay zone, I'd be happy to do so. But in short, this year's update shows that of the 30 sites we had, one is coming off, leaves us 29 sites. No new sites were being added, and that's where we're at.
Okay. Planning Commission members, any comment? I would like to say a couple of things, if I may. I'd like to thank the City of Clovis and the Planning Department for sending me to the Planning Commission Academy. It was very informative again this year. They stated there's 200 bills in committee that affect housing in California, and about 20 of them they think will possibly make it through committee, and out of that they don't know how many will be passed. There's 13 bills that Tri-City is concerned about and they're following, and I gave Dave a list of those. You may want to get a copy of that list from Dave, and if you want to follow those bills yourself, you may. But again, thank you very much. It was very, very informative, like it has been in the past. Okay. Any public comment? Anybody in the chamber like to say something? Anybody online?
There are none.
Okay. We will move to first item on the public hearings. Consider for approval resolution CUP 2019-008A, a request to amend a previously approved conditional use permit for a 4-story, 107-room hotel with a request for a maximum building height of 60 feet located at 2355 Willow Avenue on approximately 3.31 acre site. Nick Patel, Holiday Management, Inc., applicant, owner, John Frame, DL Division, Inc., representative. Kelsey?
Good evening, Commissioners, Chair Hinkle, Kelsey George, Assistant Planner with the Planning and Development Services Department. As mentioned, tonight for your consideration is CUP 2019-008A, which is an amendment to a previously approved conditional use permit. The proposal is for a 107 guest room, 4-story, 60-foot tall hotel. The subject property is on the northeast corner of Willow and Santa Ana Avenues on approximately 3.3 acres of vacant land. The subject property is an infill lot surrounded by existing development. Development of a permitted use at this site would provide for an opportunity to develop an otherwise underutilized site. The subject property is zoned CP, which permits hotels up to 55 feet in height with an approved conditional use permit. The land use designation is O for office, which is consistent with the underlying zone district and specifically calls out hotel uses as typical uses in the Clovis General Plan. The site is surrounded by typical single-family uses, but in the direct vicinity of the site, there are also higher density residential uses. The site is also directly south of commercial uses that service the Shaw Avenue commercial corridor. As I briefly mentioned earlier, this evening's proposal is amending a previously approved conditional use permit that did permit a hotel at this site in the year 2019. The site has since been sold, and the new owners are the applicants that are requesting authorization to expand the use beyond the parameters of the previously approved conditional use permit. The table on the screen shows the difference between the two entitlements. The request for consideration this evening would result in an additional 5 feet in height and 1 building story, 17 additional guest rooms, and 13 additional parking stalls. The site has 2 points of access off Willow Avenue, as well as reciprocal access to the property to the east, which is required to remain. The site is showing 128 parking stalls, which is adequate to meet the standards of the Clovis Municipal Code. The site is situated in a way to minimize impacts to the surrounding areas to the extent possible. And during the site plan review process, staff will review the site plan for conformance with the code and other site configuration standards. The Planning Commission has the authority to approve additional height through the conditional use permit process. The permitted height in the CP zone district is 55 feet. The total height being requested is 60 feet, and this would be to the top of the highest architectural feature. So that's from highest grade to the top of that point there. Another height point of reference would be the stair tower, which is proposed at just under 50 feet 5 inches. And the total height of the face of the building is just under 48.5 feet. The hotel will be dual branded, which means it will have 2 hotel brands from the same hotel family in 1 building. It'll operate like a typical hotel, open 24 hours a day. There will be rooms that have additional amenities, which include fully equipped kitchenettes. As part of the conditional use permit amendment, the applicant is requesting long-term stays. This means stays for over 30 consecutive days or longer. The applicant has indicated they would work with a nursing travel agency that places traveling nurses there for the long-term stay component. Staff has worked very closely, planning staff and police department staff have worked closely together, and we have included conditions of approval for your consideration this evening that would permit the use to have up to 10 long-term stay rooms, contingent on use with a third-party travel agency. Staff recommends the Planning Commission consider approval of CUP 2019-008A, which is the request to amend the previously approved conditional use permit to permit a 4-story, 107-room hotel with a maximum building height of 60 feet. Staff is available to answer any questions should the Commission have any, as well as the applicant and the engineer architect team. Thank you.
Questions for staff? If there are no questions, I'll open this up now to the public, and if the developer would like to say something, it's your opportunity to address the Commission.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is John Frame. I'm the project architect representing R.L. Davidson on this project. We've worked with Mr. Patel here for about almost a year now on this project, and Kelsey did a great job explaining what we're trying to do. The previous project, when we were given that plan, we went through some reviews of it, and it was not drawn accurately, and it wasn't going to work. So we worked with Nick, came up with a new plan, and this is what's been presented tonight. As she said, that 60-foot height is specifically for a architectural feature that's a brand image for the Candlewood Suites portion of the project, of the building. And then the red stair tower is also a brand image of the Avid side of the building. So, really don't have anything else. If you have any questions of us, be happy to answer what I can.
Questions?
Yes, sir. If you would, I noticed in the packet that we received that we have a letter of objection from the Fresno Unified School District, in which they say it does not support because the alcohol license request. Does either of these facilities intend on having a bar?
It's not a full bar. From what I understand, and in talking to Nick, the alcohol license is going to be for a happy hour service, and it's going to be for complimentary drinks for hotel guests only for a certain hour during the day.
Okay.
It's not going to be, and they're not going to be for sale.
Yeah, no for sale.
No for sale.
On site.
On
or
site.
off-site bars.
No.
Okay.
No.
And are you aware of a school in the immediate vicinity of this proposed project?
No, the closest school I know of that I can even think of would be clear up at Ashland and Millbrook.
Yeah.
So it's quite a ways away.
Feet away.
Yeah, it's quite a ways away.
All right. I was just noting because their general the letters that we get from school districts are generally kind of form letters.
Right.
This one was a little out of form. They seem to be very adamantly non-supportive. But if they're hanging their hat on distance to the school, I'm speaking for one person. It doesn't work for me. So let's see here. Yes, the access. Currently, off of Willow, that access to the apartment housing is a major access, and I would presume that it's going to stay that way.
Yes, the owner has been desperately trying to get a hold of the apartment owners and has not had very good luck in getting them to respond. The intent is to leave those easements in place. The one on the north end is specifically for fire, and I've been in contact with the fire department here, Rick Foltz, and talked to him about both of these easements. And it was his understanding that's what those easements were for, was for fire department access. But we are trying to maintain them. I don't know, do you have the site plan that showed the actual shape of the easement, current easement? You don't have that on there? Okay. We need to reshape the easement, because it's, right now, the way it's drawn, if you look at an aerial map of it, it kind of comes down and then forms this Y as it comes down to Willow Avenue. So we need to just reshape that easement so it's more of a straight shot right through. Yeah.
As long as it, doesn't inhibit access by the fire department's apparatus.
Correct, and that's exactly what, right.
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? So basically, this is the same development that was before us. It's just the aesthetics, you've had to re-qualify those for the needed heights. Is that correct?
Correct, and
Okay.
adding the rooms.
Yes, and the additional rooms
Yes.
to it. Okay. I have no more questions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody in the chamber like to speak on this? Anybody online?
There are none.
Okay, I'll bring it back to the commission. Any more discussion on this? We're open for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve, sorry, I lost my number, CUP 2019-008A with the conditions of it presented.
Second? No.
I'll second.
Okay, call for the vote.
So we have a motion to approve CUP 2019-008A. Motion made by Commissioner Hatcher, seconded by Commissioner Cunningham. Commissioner Hatcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Commissioner Bedstead?
Yes.
Chair Hinkle?
Yes.
And Commissioner Antuna absent.
Okay, that's the last item that we have on our agenda. So we'll adjourn at 6:17.
I bet the difference is Fresno Unified versus Clovis Unified.
What's that?
The difference on the letters is Fresno Unified versus Clovis Unified.
Did I say Clovis?
No, this is Fresno.
Oh, yeah.
But it's because their letters, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
No, that's why I